check this out, guys. While there's some terrible shit going on in the world, right? You don't have to go be a part of it. If you're not there, you don't have to run to it. Be aware of it. Don't be consumed by it. Be prepared for it. Get ready for it, but don't go join it. Go out of your way to get in the middle of it. That shit can change your life super fast. While all the fucking turmoil's going on, stop and think, maybe some of this is orchestrated, and maybe all of this was to set this in play. Not by the good guys, but by the people you perceive to be the bad guys. They want you to burn your fucking cities down. They want you to be displaced. Stop and think about that shit. This was the spark that finally set it off, and it's terrible and it's tragic, and yes, something needs to be done about those 4 people. And I think that you will probably see that happen. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about all of this bullshit in the midst of everything crazy, people being out of work, all of those things. You can use this time right now to change your life, lifestyle design. Just set a few things in motion. Stop consuming all the negative shit. Be aware of it, but flip the fucking gear for a minute. Fucking go find a man named Inky Johnson and watch a couple of his videos. He's on Instagram, he's on Facebook, he's all over YouTube. Just listen to something he's saying for a minute and plant that seed. And then go back and watch your other shit. But keep that in the back of your mind. Watch Inky Johnson for a minute and see what you can do. I keep getting these ads for these video games. I don't know if it's Facebook or an app or what it is, but I keep seeing them on Instagram and Facebook. Probably because I'm consuming a bunch of stuff on gardening, aquaponics, things that I perceive to make me better and make my family better. But this video game app keeps coming up, and it's a gardening video game. It's a farming video game. We used to have Farmville, right? How many people you know sat and made these whole fucking worlds in a video game, and that was how they spent all their free time? Now motherfuckers have all kinds of free time, and they're spending their entire time in video games. What would happen if you just got up and actually did some of that bullshit you're pretending to do on the internet? You can buy a pack of seeds for 90 cents. You probably have neighbors, if you just ask them, hey, do you have any seeds sitting around? I have seeds that are 20 years old right now that I moved here from California with. Those motherfuckers still grow. Somebody probably has some of that stuff they can just give you. I'll bet you could get it in a 99-cent store. You could find it anywhere. Everybody has some dirt. I have a client, I believe she is in Washington, D.C., lives in an apartment, keeps planting all these seeds and stuff, keeps putting up all these pictures on Instagram of all this garden shit she's doing. I'm like, how much land do you have? And then she takes a picture snapped back from her living room. She has a patio. It's like 8 feet, 6 feet by 2 feet maybe. And she's growing a ton of shit on her patio. What do you think that does when you produce some food and you eat that food? That puts something in motion, and it makes you have a desire and a drive, an accomplishment. You can do a lot of shit just by putting your hand in that dirt, connecting to something that's real instead of make-believe. All these people spending all this time, you're not at the riots, terrible, it's happening. You're not in the video game, you're wasting your time in the video game. Go do something real. Get a mindset change. Use this as the final straw. I'm going to change something. I'm going to get out of the city. I'm going to move a little further. I'm going to get out of this apartment and just get a place with a backyard. Whatever it is you need to do what it is you're going to do, you need to figure that out. But there's a lot of people wasting a lot of fucking time right now. I got sucked into that shit last night. There's all kinds of people walking around watching the fires, watching the AutoZone burn. Black man was killed. Terrible. A lot of people have taken action. You know what most of what I saw in those videos were? Were fucking little motherfucking white kids stealing wood from construction sites and building bonfires. Breathing in all that fucking smoke, all that rubber, all that shit from that fucking AutoZone, and they're just building bonfires and just adding to the civil unrest. You know what else I saw? A bunch of motherfuckers just in buildings stealing shit. That's all they were doing. You know, they weren't in the grocery store stealing food. There's supposed to be a huge shortage on meat. There was a big ass open grocery store, sprinklers going off, huge grocery store. Nobody was in there stealing meat. They're stealing sneakers, clothes, TVs, bullshit. You know who those people also are? Those are people who don't have fucking work. They're not, probably, most of them are not out of jobs. They straight never had a job. They're busy on video games and doing whatever the fuck it is they're doing. Just figure out what you need to do. And in the midst of all of it, I'm telling you, go find Inky Johnson and listen to that man's story. He has a lot of content. Some of it's a minute. What you will find is after you listen to a minute, you're going to listen to a couple minutes. And it's going to change something in your head. Just go do better shit. Go do real shit. And stop and ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now, does it make my fucking mom proud? Would I want my child to see this? Do I want my child to grow up and do what I'm doing right now? Ask that. And then live your life by some of that shit.